Hello, Big Ten fans. Charlie Clark, Michael Dugan here. We're on behalf of internsbig10.com at the Big Ten Media Days at McCormick Place in Chicago. Michael, we've been here for both days. We're in the middle of the second day right now as we're recording this. There's been about two big headlines. Everything else hasn't been too much, a little bit of notes. But Urban Meyer was talking a bit yesterday about the SEC versus the Big Ten. He said that there's no gap in between them. Do you agree with that?
I don't know if there's no gap. I think the gap is there. Which side do I lean on? Find out on the podcast. We're going to discuss this more in depth. But I think that there is a little bit of a gap, and I'll get further into that again on the podcast. But I think he's wrong. I think there's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. I think it just depends how you view it. I mean, Alabama's obviously the best team in the country, and Ohio State's up there talent-wise with them. But the top of the Big Ten's better. But the bottom of the SEC is better. I think it just depends on how you view it. And the other item that was a hot topic so far at Media Days, Friday versus Saturday games. Friday nights, Jim Delaney wants the Big Ten to be playing on Friday nights for television purposes. Do you like this idea or not?
I'm indifferent to it. You can see where Commissioner Delaney is coming from, where the conference is coming from in terms of the money and the television rights. You know, if you want to go up against an SEC primetime game, your numbers are going to dip. But if you're the only game on Friday night, or only major college game on Friday night, whether that's, Maryland, Indiana, or Purdue versus, Michigan State,
Yeah.
You put that up against Arkansas and Ole Miss, or, Florida versus Vanderbilt, it's going to get beat out by those SEC teams because they just draw bigger numbers.
Yeah, and a couple coaches came out against this. Tom Allen didn't like it. Tom Allen from Indiana, and Penn State's James Franklin also didn't like it. He pushed back on that idea. There were some other headlines that we'll talk about on the podcast, which will be coming out later. You can check all of that out at internsbig10.com, at internsbig10 on Twitter, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and iTunes for more.